committee grants. I first of all apology that we had to postpone it the other evening, but there was a talk of a snowstorm, a blizzard, 4 feet of snow, reindeer falling off everywhere. There's going to be everything out. We thought we were best to sort of say to people, don't come in, we don't want to get injured on the way in. Before we start the meeting, I'll just go around the table just for everyone to introduce themselves, and then we'll get right into the meeting. So, start with you from home, good son.
Councillor Simon Goulson, portfolio holder for Clapham.
Councillor Darren Woodwest, portfolio holder for Neighbourhood Services and Christchurch.
Becky Nixon, Community Engagement Manager.
Steve Taylor, Health and Wellbeing Manager.
Helen England, Democratic Services Manager.
Alex Watton, Democratic Services Officer.
Claire Betts, Grants Officer.
And I'm Phil Reynolds, the leader of the council, and I'm happily get to chair this committee that gives money away and everyone's all pleased to be at the meeting. So this meeting is being recorded, will be live streamed. And if you do come forward to speak, please use the microphones. Mobile phones, please, if you can put them into silent. Fire exits are clearly marked. There's an alarm, it is a genuine alarm because we're not actually expecting any drills this evening. First of all, we'll start with apologies for absence. And as far as I'm aware, there are no apologies for absence because the 3 councillors who've done this committee are here. I'll just, as an automatic question, are there any declarations of members' interest at all? No? We're okay on that one as well. We then move to item 3, which is the £1 million community grant applications, which are on the agenda, page 3 to 16.
It's still in section 106.
The one I've got.
Community grant first, I think, isn't it?
I've got community grant.
Yes.
Just to confuse everybody, we've got 2 separate agendas. Okay, right. You've got the same one, Becky?
Yeah, that's because that's that day.
Right, okay, we're all right. We'll go with the £1 million community grant applications, page 3 to 16 in my agenda. What I will do is just ask Becky to make a few general comments before we start. And normally we invite the portfolio holder to say something, but Councillor Ashley would probably be here this evening way. One of the many viruses that are attacking everybody in Harbour at the moment. Becky, do you want to make any general comments?
Yes, just briefly. So we are into year 2 of the 1 million community grant. So that's the second 1 million. Capital grant fund for parishes, towns and parishes across the district. In this rearranged grants committee, we're just hearing a couple of organisations' applications. We have the 3rd Market Harborough Scout Group, which actually comes out of the year 1 allocation, but was deferred to this meeting to sort out a few things. And then for year 2, we have the Banning Bowls Club come with a couple of applications. So I'll go ahead and together they are coming out of separate funds. And then Claire, when you're ready, we'll give you the detail of what those applications are.
Okay, so I'm moving over to page 11 and 5. Actually got in there, which is showing the 3rd Market Harborough Scout Group upgrade the toilets, kitchen and storage areas for the Scout Hut on the Farmland Road. That's the one that I've got. Yeah. Fine, okay. Becky, is there anything that you particularly want to draw our attention to on this one?
Yeah.
Very good.
So yeah, the 3rd Market Harborough Scout Group, the amount they're requesting from the community grant is 55,882. The total project is 87,274. So later in this meeting, they'll be asking section 106 for the remainder of the funds needed. Just to summarise the project, to upgrade 3 critical elements of the infrastructure in the Ted Mantle Scout Huts, toilets and personal hygiene facilities. The current open design is to be replaced with private toilet and hand washing cubicles, adding a wet room and disabled toilets. Updating the kitchen to install modern units and facilities to enable safe food handling, preparation, cleaning and storage, and then improve storage to create a cost cupboard and build additional storage in the roof void with safe access. In terms of meeting council values, the project would meet health and wellbeing. The improvements will provide modern facilities to meet the physical, personal and emotional needs of the users. It will enable a wider offering of scouting activities, promoting health and wellbeing and encouraging healthy choices. Facilities will be appropriate to support personal hygiene, improve safeguarding and better manage the diversity of its users. To also meet pride in our community, the hut use will be extended to accommodate meetings and events for other community groups in an area of the town where community meeting space is lacking. So as I said, the Section 106 will also be held tonight. Any community grant awarded should be on the condition that the project will be fully funded, so either by Section 106 if the application is successful, or if not by other means that the Scouts may have. The grant will be paid in phases and timings will be agreed and coordinated with the Section 106 team and the applicant. And just to say that the completion date for the signed lease is in fact this Thursday, which is good news. Any grant awarded will need to have the special condition that the grant can be paid once the community use agreement has been signed by both parties and a copy of the signed lease has been received.
Thank you, Claire. Well, I've noticed here, just list down a number of the additional groups who would be using this facility. Darren, I think you actually, as a ward member, share your views on this. Do you want to say a few words before we bring in the relevant people who might be here?
Who might be here, who are here. Thank you, Leader. Yes, so I'll probably be taking words out of Tom's mouth here, but he did actually show me around the escape and point out all the issues with safeguarding. So obviously when this was put in its current configuration, there's no thought about how general sort of safeguarding would work. So you have adults having to go through the toilets to reach storage cupboards and stuff like that. So how it is completely unworkable, I think you're saying at the moment. And the storage project they have for their roof void is very interesting as well. So great utilisation of space. So yeah, I'll absolutely support it.
Thank you. Okay, well, would you like to come forward and say a few words on this one? Press the button on the.
Yeah.
There we go. Fantastic. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, as Darren has kind of said, so our hub was built originally in it was opened in 1974. Obviously, since that time, since the past 50 years, what has changed in terms of safeguarding young people. The group's grown in quite large numbers, since Scouts obviously changed in the late 80s, early 90s to include female members into the group as well. The facilities that we have in today's society are just not really fit. We're not safeguarding our leaders, and we're not properly safeguarding our children. So we need to make these upgrades to make sure that we are a safe, inclusive group, and we are set to move forward and really just develop the group and also provide a brilliant facility that the local community can then hire out from us and use. And the storage space in the loft, that is so needed. We are so short of space in our hub. We literally trip over stuff in cupboards and have to constantly move things around from meeting to meeting, from one room to the other and back again. So to utilise that void that we have in the roof to provide safe storage for our camping equipment, or to possibly offer storage to any of our regular hirers, it's going to be so valued to what we need from the group.
I mean, I think the one thing we've shown as an administration since we've come into positions that we are very keen to support community groups, and we've given away huge amounts of money to do that right across our district. And it's incredible to see just the wonderful advantages that it's brought to so many of our groups and our bodies across the district. That's fine. Just let me. Does anyone else want to say anything at all from your group at all?
No, I think that's funded up. If there are any particular questions, then
Perfect.
help with that.
Thank you. Right, Simon, do you want to say anything at all?
No, I'm happy with the application.
No, they're all fine. So you said the lease has all been sorted now? Could you resolve?
Yes, that's right, yeah. Thursday is the completion date and, yeah.
Because it's been a very smooth path to this, I think, hasn't it?
It has been, yeah.
Can I just ask, did you sort out the access from Skipping Close?
Okay, so, yeah, so there is, no longer access from Skipping Close. The access has now been moved to Farndon Road.
All right,
Yeah, the
happy to move?
right, Simon?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, so it has been moved and seconded. Any comments from the officers at all? No? Right, that's been moved and seconded. All those in favour? Anyone against? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
The officers will sort out which post the cheque will be in, so. So let you know. We now move on to the second item on this particular part of the agenda, which is the purchase of a replacement lawnmower for, Gilbert Bowling Club. Councillor James Ward, councillors, and his comments, sir. Who's coming on this thing? Please.
So the value requested is £9,439.20, and from the remaining Market Harbour Town allocation of 150,000. Just to summarise the project, it's a purchase of a replacement enhanced mower. It's one which will mow quicker and more effectively. It is heavier than the current one, so it will provide a benefit and more weight in rolling the green as it is mowed. Therefore, the club would not need to purchase a roller in the future. And the machine would have a lifespan of approximately 10 years. As evidence of need, the club has 2 old mowers which are used many hours per week, and the 15-year-old one is falling apart and is in urgent need of replacement. So the grant would help the club maintain the green and continue to attract players. It has approximately 124 members, and about 2,000 people visit the club each year from all other clubs. It would promote health and well-being. The bowling club encourages people to play bowls, which is good for well-being and a healthy lifestyle. They also provide a hub for other community groups without any outside funding. And it would help match the sense of pride in the place, as the club is in use for prestigious county competitions and matches because of the standard of the facility. So the lawnmower will be another factor in maintaining a facility to be proud of. And just to highlight, as I think you said, there are 2 applications from the group tonight. If both were awarded, they would total 44,941.
Okay, well, I think that the other thing was obviously on that, the diverse age group between 12 and 91. That's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Right, is there anyone who would like to say a few words to us? Put your microphone on. Lovely, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. For my sins, I am the green manager at the Bowls Club and have been for about 7 or 8 years. And again, volunteer like all of us, just sort of pick up the job and do the best we can. So a lot of what we do is gain from experience from other green managers around the county and nationally. For us, the prime sort of focal point for the Bowls Club is the green. If you don't have a good green, then the Bowls Club will just cease. So really, what we're trying to do is to ensure that the bowls green is in top condition, not only for our bowlers, but also to attract bowlers from around the county. Last year, we held a number of competitions, inter-county, some specialist competitions. So for us, it's very much about trying to get a new mower to maintain the condition of green. We do have 2 mowers. They are quite complicated beasts because one of them actually has a cartridge which you replace. So it's not just about cutting the green itself, it's also about aerating, it's about spiking, it's about slicing the green and doing different things to make sure the green is sustainable and in its best condition. Volunteers wise, there are 6 of us that mow the green, all volunteers, and to actually cut the green, it takes about 6,000 steps. So it's quite an arduous task, really. And certainly the 2 mowers we have, one is nearing the end of its life, but it's still in working condition. Again, we've had to service it and replace one or two essential parts. The other one we got for about £500 a few years ago, just really as a standby. So again, we've got to the stage really where we just need to look forward and actually say, right, we are in need of a good mower. And certainly that's the idea of this application. So any other questions, really?
I don't know, we'll cover the car park in a moment. Any questions?
Like for,
Yeah, I just want to know what slashing is when it comes to.
Well, it's quite interesting because the mower itself has cartridges, so they're quite easily replaced. So we've got 6 different cartridges which we will continue to use. But this new mower will be mainly, principally, just cutting the grass. But it's also about making sure the depth of the grass and length of the grass is appropriate for the speed on the green, how you bowl and so on. So it's
Okay, so the slashing is just on cutting. But I thought that's one of the terms you use, slashing. So,
Well, it's interesting because it's about scarification again. I can't spend an hour. It's also about making sure the grass can grow, because what you finish up with is, yes, you've got the grass on the top, but underneath you've got all the roots. And one of the cartridges actually slices into the soil, the grass, so it makes the air get into or underneath the surface. We've got spikes as well which do it, so we've got fertilizer. It's quite a task really. This new mower will really help us considerably.
I must have been my late wife always used to tell me I knew wasn't confident that I could kill weeds. Because I'm not very good at gardening at all. So when it comes to questions like this, leave it to the experts. Simon, anything to add? You happy?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, you moving?
yeah, happy to move it.
Okay, so that's been moved and seconded. Any comments from the officers? No? Well, as I say, it's a diverse age group. Well, we're supporting it. Thank you for what you do. All those in favour? Anyone against? That's carried. And when you're next slashing the green, you give Darren a ring. I'm sure he'd like to come down and watch.
And you're always welcome to come down and have a chat.
Thank you very much. Next item I've got down on here is Little Bowden Bowling Club for the club car park. Just doing this one. Claire again.
So the full amount requested is 35,502. That would be for the full project. Obviously the club would like all of that, but they appreciate if you would only agree to certain phases, and they can split it down into section A, B and C, which they've listed below. And again, this is from the full market harbour allocation of 150,000. Project is to level the old car park surface, adding car park lines and putting up new solar lighting of the parking bays. Section A is a priority as there is an infrastructure issue with a retaining wall, and resurfacing this section will ensure the supporting wall next to the car park is stronger and will not be eroded. Section B, this is a part of the car park nearest the club and would ideally be complete with section A if funding allows. The members and public all walk across this section as a car park. It is therefore a health and safety issue for the club. Section C is least urgent, but this section would be of clear benefit both aesthetically and in terms of additional car parking spaces. It would meet the council value of health and well-being, and the project will reduce the risk of falls for all members and users of the club. And we've discussed before how many users there are of the club and many community groups using it as well and taking that path to the main door. Also, meeting the sense of pride in our place, and the new car park will be another factor in maintaining a facility to be proud of. So the officers would recommend the panel consider whether they wish to grant all 3 stages in one go or to support the first or second stage together with a view to supporting the third round in the last phase in the last round, when there'll be a clear idea of how many other applications there are. Those will be open to the panel.
About some questions before we bring we're more than welcome to come forward. I've got some questions. We list down section A, B and C, which is the 15,000 and 13,007. When would the work start? Would be my first question. When would the phase 1 be completed? Then phase 2, phase 3. I'm just conscious if you start on phase 1 and then we suddenly say when we get to phase 3, well, there's no more money. What happens then? So if you could give us an overview of that, would be very helpful, so we can understand whether it really is the case. I use this in the nicest way, that you're being very courteous, breaking it down to three, rather than to be straightforward and say, we really do need the lot in one drop. But we think we might have a better chance of going for all three, in sort of split sections, so I don't know whether you might be able to help us with that.
Yeah, when I spoke to the three contractors, we researched to make sure they were legitimate. It was the Raybell guys who work with the council, I understand. They understood where we were coming from. We suggested the three phases. He looked at it and went, that could be easily quickly done in one go. He's on standby after this meeting to action as and when, if funds come available. So phase 1 and 2, the main car park, that would be the critical one. Phase 3 around the side is more of a help protect the embankment as well. The phase 3 can be done at the same time or not, but phase 1 and 2 would be the important ones. But practically wise, you could do phase 1 and 2 separately. Construction of the current car park, because there's a slab of tarmac in the middle in the original construction time. So we reckon within 3 months we can all be done in one go. According to Raybell, subject to giving them the go ahead.
So at the very least, realistically, you need 1 and 2.
Yes,
Together, that's brilliant. You don't need to be courteous with us. That's, so you need 1 and 2 of the. Dan, do you want to come and say anything?
Yeah, so section 3 said to protect the embankment. Is there any flooding risk there? Or is it
no, it's more if you notice that the embankment on the other side of the embankment, it started to break away. And this summer is a large crack that's now opened up to a metre wide, which could cause a few problems later on, the problems we had a few years ago. On our side, maybe once a month we get delivery down the side, and it's more of it stops the squashing down of the embankment and further pushing out. We don't want to happen on our side, what happened on the railway side of the embankment. It's a long shot, but it's another protection to stop more problems within the river in that area. Now, we didn't put in tarmac there because of cost, which is going too much. However, scouts put that. You know, I should have tarmacked it as well, because we did the low cost car park plastic matting to put down there to keep the cost down, because you don't get people walking over it with the bags and tripping. Hence the tarmac on one side, and this has been the secondary tank. So that's the reasoning behind that as well. It'd be nice. It's not nice to have. It's good for trucks, but it is a consideration to take into account. And we are keeping an eye on that embankment, just in case.
Can we get some officer views on this? Because it sounds to me that if you don't do 1 and 2 together, it's not really commercially sensible to do it that way. You need 1 and 2. But I'm a bit worried on if you don't do 3, what happens then? If something gives way, then what's going to happen then? You know, what the officers have to look at it for?
We haven't had a look at it, but section C is the smaller amount anyway. So section C, the cost of that is 7,194. So compared to, it feels like if you're doing section A and B, that is the smaller amount.
That's common sense to do all 3.
much activity of the people looking for grants?
Sorry, I lost get to the microphone on. We've had some inquiries, but it's not clear. Yeah, I think we have 1 application through at the moment for the Market Harbour allocation. We've got a few things in the pipeline, some of the bigger projects that they need to get more funding in place before they can apply for the community grant. And obviously we've potentially got further years to come as well. So.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Bob, just to add is that we talk about the third area to get done. In fact, that's probably important as well, because that's actually where we get all of our drinks and deliveries that come around the side. So we'd be very keen to get all three done as quickly as possible. If they can get all three done together, then that would be our ideal situation.
Okay. And you just give us a second, just have a quick deliberation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
That 150 then in the pot, is that last year's or this?
That's the new one for this year.
That's, so they're starting to use that.
That's a chance.
It's the first call,
So we'll be.
so there'll still be 120.
We've got a small amount of underspend, I think, haven't we, still from year one for any smaller project?
Yes, about 3,000 to 4,000, I think, yeah.
So we'll use that up first.
Yeah. The logic would be to use that first.
Just the figure.
Well, we're not usually able to use underspending at 1 year in a totally different one for year 2, are we?
Not carrying
It's how
forward.
it's set up. Not to put towards another
You've
project.
got to chat with Lloyd on that one.
Yeah, that's why it's been explained. to
Don't
us
want to lose
later.
Wanted to give you the community with after it.
Figure of underspend, I missed that.
So there, we call that. Okay, well, I think we're of the mind that if it's, you know, collectively, if we do 1 and 2, it doesn't make much sense to leave 3 floating loose. There could be a problem. We're just sort of waiting to see come down the track. So, and you are first in. It still leaves us with a substantial amount for the rest. So, does somebody want to formally move that? So you're moving 1, 2 and 3, is that right? Okay, Simon?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, it has been moved and seconded. We will do section 1, 2, 3, or 8, whichever way you want to phrase it. And we'll do that as one collective project for you. Right. So all those in favour? Anyone against? That's carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Pleasure. Hey, really got to invite them to see that.
Is it all right?
Okay. We now move on to section 106 plans, which carries through to page 23 of my agenda.
Page 6 of
Page 6 of that, which is the third Market Harbour Scouts group, which is for the Scouts Hut upgrade, and I think that there's 31,900, sorry, 392, is that right, Steve? So who's going to tell us a bit about this one?
That's me. So I just introduced the report and I'll just go through the attendance.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no worries. So just in terms of section 106, we're not funding, which is called section 106, is used to develop or improve community facilities and open space. And this funding secured through a planning obligation, which is an agreement by deed attached to the land that's subject to a planning permission. Since the 1st of August 2021, applications for funding over 25,000 are determined by this cabinet subcommittee. And this term, we've had one section 106 grant application that's been submitted and assessed during this consultation process and is eligible for consideration at this meeting. In terms of recommendations, we're asking that this subcommittee considers the grant application and is recommended to approve either full, part or no funding. And one that we're looking at is 001 S106 R42526. And that's for Third Market Harbour Scouts Group for £31,392 for improvements to the Scout Hut. The other recommendation is delegate authority to the Director of Communities and Wellbeing in consultation with the legal to enter into any necessary legal agreements and facilitate the documented legal obligations between the council and any subsequent recipient of the funding. So in terms of the reasons of the recommendation, we have assessed it and it's met its section 106 criteria and is still compliant. And other information you should be aware of. In terms of financial, we are looking, if agreed, to draw money from 2 different developments. And they are Manor Farm 230365 full and Manor Farm 21015119 full. where there is £42,640 currently available, and this will leave just over £11,000 remaining in community facility pot for Market Harborough, and spend by dates on that is September 2021. So still a little bit following up for that additional funding as well. If I go into the appendix A, this obviously links in with the community grant money, 55,882. We've discussed where this money is looking to come from and the spend by dates. I'll just go through the project outline just for clarity one more time. Third Market Harbour Scouts are based at the 10-man Scout Hut, which was built in 1974. Over the preceding 50 years, dynamics of Scouts have developed to include more females, as well as changes in legislation to support and project several groups in society making current facilities, particularly the toilets and the Scout Hut, outdated. Alongside this, kitchen needs modernising, and the attic will be utilised for storage. With these improvements, not only will Scouts and community benefit from the project, but also wider community due to the possibility for using the space as an additional venue in the town, which I think is fantastic. The application outlines the upgrade of 3 critical elements of infrastructure in the group. In the Scout Hut, we've got toilets, we've got the updated kitchen, and we've got the improved storage. Timeframe for the project, the building work itself is planned for August 26, sign off in the decoration in September 26, and reopening the hut October 2026. Officers are recommending, and reasons for recommending is that it meets criteria for spending and there's clear evidence of need, and it will provide additional space for community groups. If agreed by the group, there are some special terms and conditions that we would recommend. Alongside those standard terms and conditions, we would recommend a community use agreement to be put in place. If fully awarded from both 106 and community grant funding, then payments will need to be phased. If awarded before any payments are made, evidence is required that it's a fully funded project and the lease agreed and signed by both parties before any payment. So our Section 106 officers' comment here is that the Scouts and HDC have been working closely together to agree a new lease, which has now been agreed. Any grant award will need to have that special condition. Funds can't be released until new conditions have been signed by both parties.
Yeah, right.
From me, thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Steve. I mean, I think it's really reasonable that we're putting in the caveats for obvious reasons, especially the community use agreement, because the more community facilities we've got available, the better, because people are crying out for them. And although we're doing everything we can to try and do something about it, you know, there's always more needed. So I think that's very, very important. Does anyone want to come forward and say anything at all, or entirely up to you? Use those phones, I'll rest my case.
We have already started work on developing advertising on the website. We're looking at procedures. We have a team in place to manage hiring. So we've already made progress to meet those conditions.
Excellent. Thank you. Darren?
I think I answered already.
Sorry. Okay, well, I think we're very sympathetic to what you're asking for. I think the officers have put forward a well-structured argument for all the necessary special requirements. I mean, we appreciate we need to go with that. So I think this is a very, very worthwhile scheme. Would one of you like to move it? Moved by Councillor Woodywis, seconded by Councillor Colton. I'm happy to support it. So all those in favour? Anyone against? That it's carried. And the officers will, as I say, again, put the cheque in the post. We'll then move on to the last item on the agenda, which is the council award improvement grants, which basically are up to put forward a very clear report on the start grants from the individual ward members, and we've been asked to recommend that these be noted. The councillors who have offered their amounts are listed there, you know, and I'm very grateful to what they do for those. So I would say I'm very happy to move that. Somebody would like to second it? Councillor Woodywis, really want to make any comments on it? No? Okay, well, we have renewed the £5,000 grant scheme again, I believe, from memory. figures in the budget. The very comprehensive budget, I'll have to check that. I've got that really, I apologise. The good councillor Beagle sitting over there with him nodding his agreement with me, and he's not, so we'll have to check that one. But I think it's a very worthwhile scheme, and I do thank my fellow councillors for the interest they're taking and support they're giving to the community. I think it's important. So that has been moved and seconded, unless that officer, any comment on that?
The only comment is this report was written for the previous meeting, not updated for this one. So actually we have given out a whole load more bits, which will report to the next finance committee.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks, Becky. Right, all those in favour? Anyone against? That is carried. And I believe that brings us to the end of this meeting. Thank you very much for attending. Done well for time, because we're going to start the next one at 6:30. So that's a meeting of the full cabinet about the budget. You're very welcome to stay. This is if you'd like, we'll lunch until quite late. So with that, meeting is formally closed. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.